What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot of important information to talk about in today's video. We saw some very interesting movement in the market today. Overall, we saw the SPY up a little bit, but we saw a lot of selling pressure with growth stocks. In this video, we're going to be talking about the best plays for tomorrow and some really important news for today. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day, and at the end of the video, we have an $8.6 million play for tomorrow. So make sure to stick around for that. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, and the first thing I wanted to go over was Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is starting to pop up. We could see that yesterday it was really high, up around 69 cents, and man, it is kind of consolidating today around 58 cents, 55 cents at the low. And I think that this will be a great play tomorrow going into Saturday. And man, Dogecoin's really going crazy. And CNBC put out a crazy article that shows how much money you could have made if you would have put $1,000 into Dogecoin on January 1st of 2021. And at a price of less than a cent per coin, would have been worth $121,000 at Wednesday's high of 69 cents, a gain more than 12,000% according to CNBC's calculations. And that's only on $1,000, guys. So that's a pretty insane thing to see. And man, I mean, I heard a lot of people were buying the stock up back then and stuff. And man, I hope they held, because that's quite a bit of money off of just $1,000 alone.
Yeah, so like you said, so a $1,000 investment in Dogecoin on January 1st of 2021 would be worth around $121,000. That's crazy. And a lot of people are looking at this like, well, that's a 12,000% return. Well, what's stopping it from going to 14,000% or 20,000%? And a lot of people are buying this up in anticipation of Elon Musk on his appearance with Saturday Night Live this week. So there's definitely a lot of interesting things going on with Doge. It's definitely an interesting situation, to say the least. It's pretty risky, but it does have potential to keep running. But Tom, I was looking at a lot of growth stocks today. We look at Redfin and Etsy and a lot of other ones, and like Redfin and Etsy were down like 15% today. A lot of these stocks are just getting demolished. What's going on?
Yeah, the ARK Innovation ETF is down 10% this week, and CNBC reports that nearly $770 million of flows have left the ARK Innovation ETF in the past week. And also, ARK Invest itself, including its 5 core ETFs, have lost about $1.1 billion in investor dollars in the past 7 days, according to FactSet. And man, that's not good to hear. And like they're saying, ARKK is down pretty steeply, and it's all the way down to its support around like 106, 105. So really watch out. I mean, it's right at support. Looks like it might keep going lower. We're just going to have to see if these stocks can kind of recover over the next couple days, but it's just not good to see out of ARK or ARKK at all. And that's a pretty terrible number, that they lost 1.1 billion in just investor dollars alone. And man, it's one of those stocks, like, you want to buy the dip, but at the same time, seems like it'll keep going down. So honestly, I would just say to buy cash secured puts. But Mike, what do you say?
So I'm a fan of Kathy. I think she does great things with her fund. I don't think it hurts to start averaging into ARKK, but honestly, I would just buy like certain companies you like individually. Like if you're a fan of Redfin, I would just scoop up shares of Redfin or Palantir or DraftKings individually. And what's really cool about ARK is they actually post all of their trades. There's a website called kathysark.com, and you can actually see exactly what Kathy's buying. So, if you don't like all of the stocks that Kathy's buying, you can just kind of like make your own ETF, you can say, just by, building your own portfolio. So that's what I would do. But either way, I am a fan of Kathy, and I'm sure we will see a rebound out of their ETF. But Tom, I heard there was some interesting news with Biden and the corporate tax rate. What's going on there?
Yeah, I remember he came out a little while ago and said that he was wanting to raise the corporate tax rate to all the way up to 28%, and really made the market kind of dip down on those couple days that he said that. But today he said he would negotiate and do 25% instead of that 28% first number that he kind of gave there. But it is now at 21%. So overall, it's still a pretty big increase. But he did give like some statements today, and he pretty much said that he doesn't want these like $1 trillion corporations and stuff paying zero taxes and stuff. And I haven't really looked into the numbers, but that was pretty much just his statement on the day.
Alrighty, so interesting news there, and let's get right into the momentum plays in the member of the day. So today's member of the day, we have B Click. So huge shout out, Click. Thank you so much for joining the live streams Tom and I have been doing. If you guys want to join Tom and I live every single morning, click the link in the description down below. We have a new live trading channel. Tom and I go live every single morning at market open, so feel free to sub to that channel. And thanks for Click for always joining the stream and always asking great questions. But Tom, before we get into the momentum plays, let's check out the SPY. So I know that growth stocks have just been getting demolished over the past couple days, but the Dow is at all-time highs. And if we look at the SPY, it was skyrocketing at close, like just exploding up. If it keeps up this rate, we might break all-time highs tomorrow.
Yeah, we might. I mean, man, it's coming all the way back up to like 419. We're actually not too far away from those all-time highs around 420.72, and I would not be surprised if we saw it. The move above the SMAs were great, and this morning it looked like we were going to start selling off again, but I loved how it broke back up and just started moving back to highs. And I love how you brought up the Dow. If we go to /YM, which is Dow futures, you can really see how the Dow is really at all-time highs at 34,451. And look at this max daily chart on the Dow. It's just insane. Lumber's going up. We're seeing tons of stocks like Caterpillar, Home Depot, and stuff like that still running up as well. Home Depot posted another green day. So overall, we're seeing the growth stocks dying off at a very bad rate, but at the same time, the safer blue chip stocks are actually looking pretty decent.
For sure. So for those of you who can't plot futures, you can just plot DIA. That is an ETF for the Dow, like Tom has pulled up. We can see it's at all-time highs. But let's get right into these momentum plays. And with the first one, we have JP Morgan to the upside.
Yep, JP Morgan actually did great today. The all-time high is at 161.69, but go ahead and make it break above 161 tomorrow morning.
All right, and then we have IBM also to the upside.
Yep, with IBM, they're actually make them break above 148.75.
All right, and then we have Redfin, but to the downside. So it was down around basically 16% today. I'm a fan of this company for the long term. It's getting beat down right now, though. It has potential to continue to fall. So what levels should we be watching?
Yep, make it go ahead and break below 51.20.
Alrighty, so we are eyeing JP Morgan and IBM for a potential day trade to the upside, only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. And we are eyeing Redfin for a potential day trade to the downside, only if it breaks below the levels Tom listed. But let's get right into the $8.6 million options trade for tomorrow. We are looking at the Amazon 3,350 strike calls that expire tomorrow. There was $8.6 million put into this play. Look at this, Tom. I mean, especially with the way the market moved at the end of the day, there were so many buyers coming in. Amazon reported amazing earnings last week, and they fell off of that. I can definitely see Amazon popping back up tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I could too. I love that end of day close that we saw out of the market. I think that's awesome to see. Really, Amazon looks amazing. If it breaks above like 33.14, I think it would be an amazing move tomorrow. And man, I love the stock. I love all these stocks like Amazon, Apple, and just the overall market, how it closed like it did. And I think that, like you said, they all reported pretty good earnings last week, and we're really falling down off of those. And I think that we will start to see a recovery at least over the next couple of days. I mean, we still might be in a downwards trend, but at the same time, I mean, some of these better stocks like the blue chips and the Dow stocks, I think will start to recover back up here.
Alrighty, so let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. And I've had a ton of people asking about CLOV. So, Tom, I know we covered it multiple times this week, but let's check it out again. So it tried to run up last week, but there's just been so many sellers, especially across all of the growth stocks this week. It's looking a little rough. I think it's decent for the long term. It's definitely a risky play. The short float is 22%, so it's high. It's nowhere near like GME levels or anything like that. So there is a little potential for a short squeeze, but just looking at the chart, there's a lot of selling pressure with it right now. I don't think it's like a bad time to maybe start buying some shares or like maybe some leap options, some leap calls. The biggest thing is that you have time and that you're relatively close to the money. with short squeezes or with plays that have a high short float, know that it'll be hard for them to break out. But if they do break out, that movement will be exponential because not only do you have a ton of buyers coming into the stock, but you also have these shorts covering their position. So what's your thoughts on this play, like maybe for a short term play, and then also maybe for like a medium term swing trade?
Yeah, for a short term play, I think there's a pretty good support here right around $8. And whenever we're looking at this, if it falls below 8, I would look at it to be a little bit more bearish tomorrow, maybe. But I do like it at this support. I think it might be a good time, like you said, to start averaging in some shares or grab leaps. I think that'll be the best way to go. And if we look at the daily chart, there is that good support, like I said, around $8. The lows at 631, but that is a pretty steep drop from 8. But you have to hope that it holds this level. And plus, you have to keep in mind, if you like this for the longer term, it'll be good over the next few years. So if you were somebody like wondering earlier in the week, should I buy it up here around $10? At $8 now, it's at a really steep discount.
Alrighty, with the next question, we have Alex G saying Etsy crapped on earnings too. So let's take a look at Etsy, Tom. It's down around
Oh.
15% today. I'm telling you, a lot of these stocks are just tanking. Even if they report decent earnings, I like them. I like them. I'm not a huge fan, but the main thing is all of these growth stocks are just getting smacked on earnings. Redfin, DraftKings, Palantir, or they're just tanking in general. Enphase, there's a ton of them. So I don't think it's necessarily bad to like start averaging into shares right now, or maybe even some leaps. Their options are a little expensive. I think the best way to go with this one would be to sell puts or start averaging into shares.
Yeah, same. That's my exact scenario. That's exactly what I would do. Is just sell some puts or grab some shares on this one. I mean, it did gap down pretty steeply yesterday. I don't know what I would think of this in the short term. Hopefully, it can hold the support somewhere around like 150, but man, it's looking pretty bearish at least in the shorter term.
All right, and then we have Bravo saying, "Hey guys, awesome show as usual. Can you look at ENPH?" So Enphase. I bought the dip at 125. Stock remains a Biden play like the TAN ETF. What do you think of these two stocks? Hold or sell slash buy? Thanks. Well, thank you for that awesome comment. So let's take a look at them. So Enphase will cover first. He bought in at 125. Right now it's sitting right around 122. I really like Enphase at these levels. I really like it. I would definitely buy and hold, and I'm selling puts on it. And then if we look at TAN, this is the solar ETF. I'm also a fan of this ETF, and they're definitely holding a lot of Enphase. So overall, I like both of these plays, and I definitely like them.
Yeah, I mean, I really like FSLR. I think that one's amazing. My favorite one though is RUN, which is Sunrun. I think this one's amazing. They moved very well off of earnings the other day, and they moved very well off their support, also around $40. I think this one could be pretty good for the longer run. It has a high resistance around $100, and at the end of today, it closed very strong with the overall market. I really like it, especially intraday off these SMAs after these good earnings. I just think it was an amazing play.
Gotcha. So this is a little bit off topic. It's not a question, but Tom, let's check out Coin, COIN, the Coinbase DPO that happened a couple weeks ago. It actually ran up to like $430, and right now it's sitting right around 250. So I know a lot of people are looking to like average into shares on this one, or like even selling puts. I was looking to sell puts, but what do you think about this one for like a dip buy? I know that a lot of people are hyping up Coinbase, and I think that they'll do pretty well like over the next couple years or so.
Yeah, I personally think that getting in at 250 is going to be a pretty good level. I mean, it's moving pretty good off of 250.51 right now. It's at 257. I think it's still a pretty good time to buy. Obviously, I think anywhere between like 260 and 250 could be a good time, but I think it's a good stock just because obviously like Elon's going to be talking this weekend about Doge, and it might like really for example, like a lot of people who don't really know anything about cryptocurrency might like start to hear about it. And if you haven't heard about it by now, you're living under a rock. But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who probably don't really know it or understand it all. And maybe it'll like spark their interest now. But overall, I really like it off of 250 because that was supposed to be like the initial IPO price that analysts were expecting it to IPO at. And I think that, that's like the level a lot of the institutions were able to buy it early on that morning, or early on, I should say. And I think that it's going to be a pretty good time to get it. And like you said, a lot of people are starting to talk about it. So the hype's starting to get there. And I think that once we see those buyers come in, it's going to start to skyrocket back up.
Alrighty, with the next question, we have LeBron for the win saying, can you guys take a look at ARKK again? I kept averaging down on the dips, but I am deep, deep red. But maybe I'll be better off just taking my losses at this point. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again. Love the video. So thank you for that awesome comment. Tom, let's take a look at ARKK. It's very volatile because they are investing in a lot of growth stocks, right? And growth stocks are not doing too well over the past couple months. You just kind of have to expect this type of volatility. What I would highly recommend is looking at some of their holdings. So you could go to like arkinvest.com or like Kathy's Ark and just look through their holdings. If you're a fan of the companies that they have been buying, I would definitely hold on to your shares. If you're not, maybe sell them. But, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. When you're trading or you're buying into these high growth stocks, there's going to be a lot of volatility with them. So overall, I like it for the long term, but I would highly recommend looking into their holdings and making sure you also like the stocks that Kathy is buying.
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely keep going down. And just keep in mind, like ARKK is at support here at $105. So let's just look at this year. So this is May of this year, the very beginning of May, let's say. And ARKK is right around 105. So let's go to May of last year. May of last year at this time, ARKK was around 55. That's still a very big jump all the way up to 105. I mean, it's almost double still. So on a year over year basis, this stock is still doubled, even though it's fallen about like 50 or 60% here from the highs. Let's see, it's down around 30%, I should say, from the highs. But that's still a very steep thing that it's up double from this time last year. It still has a lot of potential to keep going down. But at the same time, like Mike said, these are growth stocks. So ARKK could be 200, 250 in a year and a half from now. So if you like those companies for the long term, I would recommend holding. But like Mike said, you need to go research it and look at it for yourself.
Alrighty, well, Tom, do you have any like top stocks or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking the big stocks like Microsoft, Apple, other ones like that. I think they're going to recover pretty well tomorrow. They're looking very nice. I also like that stock, like I said, RUN. I think that's going to be a pretty good stock over the next few days if some of these solar stocks can really start to recover. And man, it's an interesting week. We saw the SPY close at those highs, so let's watch for it. It might push to all-time highs. If it does, really watch for those like blue chip stocks to keep going up, like Apple, Microsoft, maybe Tesla, and others even will start to go up. We saw Tesla kind of down today. The market is all over the place is pretty much what I'm trying to get across. So just be pretty careful tomorrow. I think it's going to be a volatile day, but just definitely watch for some of those stocks like at support, like ARKK, some of those value stocks. I think we're going to see some pretty big moves out of them tomorrow.
Sounds great. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We post brand new videos every single day, and text Stocked Up to 39970 for special Stocked Up alerts and market updates and things like that. And if you guys have questions, let us know in the comments down below. If you want to trade with Tom and I every single day, swing trades, day trades, and access to our bots, you can click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. But other than that, thanks for watching.